Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 9.5 podcast of Gargoyles Reawakening. As always, I am Karell. You may know me as Guardian or Guardian R105 or Guardian 105 or Blaster Guardian on Steam. It's nice to see you guys. Hello.
I like your Blaster Guardian name.
That's actually a cute story, but we can talk about that later. I'm
Sure.
also joined by Lisa, who is known as Talia Levid on DeviantArt. It's good to see you again.
Hello, it's good to see you too.
Good. And as always, Karell, also known as Koralea on DeviantArt, I'd say podcast mommy, but I mean, she does run the recording and pays for the website. So, hi, podcast mommy.
Hello.
We are all very happy to join you. We do have some important things to go over. We'll just take care of those quickly. As many of you may know, we no longer consider Charles part of the Gargoyles Reawakening podcast or project. We will not go into details as to why he is no longer considered part of the podcast or project publicly. We have said as much, and any questions posted on the Facebook group or Steam or DeviantArt will be deleted. The manner in itself, as we have said, is quite delicate, and we do not want to go into it. If you want to hear what happened, you are welcome to speak to any one of us. That also includes Charles, if you so choose. But like we said, as of this point, we've gotten through the situation, we've dealt with it, and we're done with it. We are closing the book on that, and we will not take any public questions. But if you want to speak with us privately, you are more than welcome to do so. Pursuant to that, Charles actually is represented in a portion of this podcast as we had to break up our podcast. So you will hear from him in the part 2 portion of our pack rat hoarding, collection. But other than that, from this, for future podcasts, Charles will not be represented. And again, if you want to talk to us about it, you're more than welcome to do so, but we are not discussing it publicly. And that's it. That's the end of that. And we're closing the book on that. In other news, we also have Convergence coming up. Unfortunately,
Yay.
Some of you have mentioned on the GRA Facebook group that you did not register in time, for which, shame on you! Otherwise, we understand things happen. Medical bills, car bills, AAA bills, whatever bills, or just something happens. In fact, I'm actually not going to be able to come due to very poor planning on my part. So as embarrassed as I am to admit that, hey, at least I'm owning up to it. So unfortunately, I will not be joining Karell and Lisa in Convergence. So here's my challenge to our listeners. For those of you that are going, have fun. Take pictures. Buy commissions. Talk to people. And I want to see your videos and I want to see your photos posted so I can comment on them and go, well, due to my poor planning, I couldn't go and meet. So come on, guys. I'm challenging you. Make fun of me, okay? Make fun of my poor planning.
And there is still registration at the door. The only drawback to that is it's now up to $120 if you're 18 and older.
Yeah.
It's cheaper if you're a kid, but let's face it, most of us probably aren't. Although if you're bringing your kiddies, that benefits you.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, if you want to plunk down $120, all power to you. But yeah, it had originally started at $60, so you're paying twice as much as what you could have.
You're paying double, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, don't forget airfare and travel arrangements and such. So, but any event, we hope as many of you as possible can come, because, and if I may, go into a quick aside, Lisa and Karell. The whole point of the podcast is to increase awareness of gargoyles, despite the fact that we absolutely love listening to ourselves talk. The point is to increase awareness of gargoyles, like I said. In fact, I now have a new job. I'm so very happy. I am a schoolyard supervisor at a local elementary school, and I actually gave one of my copies of Season 1 to a parent that I had basically befriended.
Aww.
And I said, you told me your kid loves the Hayao Miyazaki films like Howl's Moving Castle and Spirited Away. I think she would love this. And worst case scenario, you can give it back to me once the school session begins again. So here's another challenge to you listeners. Do you have extra copies of Season 1 or Season 2 Volume 1 and Season 2 Volume 2? Can you get extra copies? Do you have extra copies of the comics? Spread them out. Give them out to people. Lend them to people. Say, hey, I love this stuff, and I think you would too. Take a look. I'm going to get off my soapbox now before I fall.
Oh, that's totally a great idea, because I have an extra copy of Season 2, Part 2. I had it for somebody, and then they had turned around and said they already had a copy, so I do have a spare. And as much as I love having double, it's like I have one copy that works fantastically. I don't know if I need another one. I just don't know anyone who wants it, unfortunately. But
hey, bring it with you to Convergence.
I was going to say, I can bring it with me to Convergence.
Sell it to somebody for treat or something and say, hey, here, this is why I love this show.
Or,
like,
you know what? You know what? Here it is. Go get it signed by Greg.
There you go. There you go. Oh, my goodness. Wow. There are a few people that I still have your books, Reign of the Ghosts. I'm so sorry. Contact me, please. I will arrange shipping. I'm so sorry.
Well, since we're speaking about Convergence, I was trolling, maybe the wrong word, but I was trolling on the schedule, and there is so much to even, I can't begin to touch the tip of the iceberg, but I wanted to touch on some of the events that I did notice that there'd be Gargoyles representatives, as we know, our guests are going to be Greg Wiseman, Marina Sirtis, Frank Parr, and now instead of Tom Adcox Hernandez, we are going to have Greg Guler, which I'm actually excited about too. I really wanted to see Tom. I heard that his antics are hilarious, but I'm excited to see Greg Guler too.
Yeah.
So
I had the opportunity to, talk to Tom a little bit during the 06 and the 09 gathering conventions, and oh my God, he is a riot.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It's a shame that people will not be able to see him at Convergence, but whatever's going on, we wish him the best and all that fun stuff. And, there will always be other days. Speaking of conventions, we'd like to help Karell Charlevoix do a shout-out. Apparently, she had a commission from a person by the user tag of Snow, whose name is Kyle Claveau. Kyle, if you happen to be listening to this podcast, I apologize profusely if I mispronounced your name, but it sounds like you placed a commission for a quick ink sketch of Demona at What the Fur. Apologize, I do not remember where this particular convention is located. In any event, you did not return to Karell to obtain your commission, although it has been paid for, so this isn't an issue of bailing on payment or anything, but she'd like to give it to you. So if you could, please contact her. She is available on DeviantArt and Facebook. You can also find her on our Facebook group, Gargoyles Reawakening. And if anybody else can help us, spread the word out, Kyle, I'm sure Kyle wants his artwork, and I'm sure Karell wants to give him his artwork, which he legitimately paid for. So thank you for listening, guys. Spread the word. So, Lisa, Karell, tell me, what am I missing at Convergence? As I grab a box of tissues.
You're going to grab a box of tissues. Give you a second there. Well, you had mentioned Karell, and actually I'm really excited. Karell is going to be in charge of quite a few of the panels. I wrote a couple of them down. Yeah, she's totally involved. I wrote a couple of them down. I also noticed, of course, Greg Wiseman is going to be on some panels. Frank Parr. I'm hoping Guler. Yep, I have Greg Guler. And also I noticed Jen Anderson on a couple of them. So I won't mention all of them because I have a pretty extensive list. Actually, I wrote on the back of 2 envelopes, which that tells you how excited I was.
Well, it could have been worse. You could have been writing all along your arm.
Right? That was happening next because, yeah.
I need more space!
I'm out of room. I had 2 envelopes. One of the panels that caught my eye, it's on Thursday. It's going to be called The Importance of Storyboard. And this is with Karell. I almost said Karell, and I'm sorry about that. Karell and Frank Parr. She's also doing an art show meetup on Thursday. I was telling these girls before the podcast began, I really think my busy days are going to be Friday and Saturday, but I was looking at some of these on Thursday too, and they just sound fascinating. In addition, Karell's also going to do something called The Physics of Impossible Costumes. Definitely
sounds cool.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Especially for all of you cosplayers. Definitely check that out. I guarantee there's going to be some amazing tips in there.
I wonder if Eden, Cindy Kennard, is going to be part of that, because I think she even has a costuming degree.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Cindy, if you're going to be there, and I hope you are, I want to learn from you. I want you to be my mentor.
she can teach you a lot. I had limited contact with her at during 06 and 09, but yeah, she's another love. She will bestow upon you her wisdom.
I hope so. Yeah. I want to come back with a wealth of knowledge. That's my goal. especially for the gargoyle-related events, there's a ton. There's one called From TV to Comics. That's going to be on Friday.
Oh,
Yep, it has Greg Wiseman, Greg Guler, Corinne again.
so it's probably going to be about the SLG run, which would make sense.
That would make sense, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no fan considers the Marvel stuff canon, although,
No,
most fans
but
probably have at least an issue or two in their collection. I have a complete collection, because, hey,
I
it's
was going to
Gargoyles.
say, exactly, and that's how I look at it too. Like, you read the stories and you're like, no way, but I love them anyways. And then on Friday also we have Creating Gargoyles. That's going to be with Greg Wiseman, Frank Parr, and Greg Guler. And then on Friday at 11 a.m. we have our Gargoyles radio play auditions with Greg W. and Jennifer Anderson. What know if any of you have ever attended these before? I never have personally, but they are awesome. I've seen the YouTube videos, and to be honest, it's totally worth it. So if you want your chance to be part of the actual Gargoyles show, and I'm doing air quotes, then this is your chance.
And I gotta say, the radio play for 09, which was the most perfect parody crossover of Spectacular Spider-Man and Gargoyles, it was flippin' hilarious. I mean, and I know I've said this before, but when Marina Sirtis as Demona calls Elisa Mazza a whore, I think everybody was going, woo! And it was like that for a good 30 seconds. I mean, Greg and everybody in the cast had go, okay, guys, settle down, let's keep going. So yeah, Greg is fantastic. He's a fantastic writer, and he knows to treat us well.
And from what I've heard, he always tries to stay as canon as possible, but this is kind of his time to be creative too. Like, he does do the crossovers, or he does, pull something from the back of his mind that he always wanted to see performed. Yeah,
and he's good. He does great. I guess the best term would be fourth wall breaking, because there were a couple of sides in during the radio play as he was the narrating, and he would just say, he'd say something, go ... I'm so bad. I'm so evil. So it was good stuff.
And then I do apologize. I've been told the quality of my mic is not at its best right now, so I'm going to try very hard to work it as much as I can. Let me see. Another one that I think be very interested in. I'm going to go into Saturday a little bit. There's a Gargoyles fan panel at 12:30. I don't know, and there was a lot of names on that, so I'm going to be at that one for sure.
Remember, guys, pick some videos.
We also have on Saturday Assigning Gargoyles at 9:30. This will have Marina Sirtis, Greg W. and Frank Parr, and he wasn't listed, but I'm hoping that maybe Greg Guler will show up there too.
Guler was kind of a last-minute addition. It was replacement for Tom, so they might not have had time to get him on.
To put his name on there.
But,
that's what I was thinking too, yeah.
Best prepare for the worst.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Also Saturday, there's going to be a 20th anniversary Gargoyles party at 12:30. I know, right? There's going to be Greg Wiseman reading from his Reign of Ghosts.
Woo!
At 3:30. I missed one. Gargoyles Biology and Culture. Ooh. Saturday at 2 with the two Gregs. I'm just going to call them the two Gregs. And then we have a one-on-one. Three Gregs? What? You're right.
Wiseman,
Greg W. and Greg Guler. I'm totally snubbing one.
When I think when I hear two Gregs, I think of either Wiseman or Bishansky.
You're right. And there are definitely three Gregs in my opinion.
Four if you count my brother, but he's not a fan.
Well, no, I'm kidding.
Hey, remember, he gave me that helicopter vehicle, so he ain't too bad.
That's true. So you know what? He has a special place in my heart as well. There's going to be a one-on-one with Greg on Saturday at 7, and also the Blue Mug with Greg W. Saturday at 10 p.m. That's for us adults.
I'm sorry, Saturday at 10 p.m.?
Saturday at 10 p.m. I'm so sorry about this microphone. I don't know what happened. I've had this thing forever. That's probably the problem.
And, although I never attended a Blue Mug when I managed to get to gatherings, they are fun. And I actually have a really funny story about that, but we can go into that later.
I think our two mics, when they interviewed, they had a couple stories that they shared too, and
Nice.
it was hilarious.
I'm gonna have to check that out again.
Yeah,
I love con stories. Con stories are fun.
they had a lot.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean that again, those are just the tip of the icebergs. Those are the ones that I found today. I seriously feel like a kid in the candy store. I can't wait to go.
I hear that, and I totally wish I could go, but I'll try not to do all that and stuff. So, but remember, guys, make fun of me, okay? Rub it in that I didn't plan well, okay? Because it's totally my fault. In any event, not to be so self-deprecating. We wanted to mention that the Gargoyles Reawakening website has had a bit of a makeover, and we appreciate everybody's feedback for the polls and the surveys. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Yes.
One of the major questions that was suggested or major suggestions we received was that we got to talk more about news, and we totally understand that. As much as we like to think we have our fingers on the pulse of the Gargoyles fandom, let's not kid ourselves. We don't. We know some stuff, yes, but there's a lot of other stuff going on that we know nothing about. So here's another challenge to our listeners. If you hear something about Gargoyles, such as, RippedApparel.com has that cool Led Zeppelin parody going on. Or, hey, somebody in Make 'em Real Gargoyles movie Disney did some parody shirts for Game of Thrones. Tell us, okay? Because, we'll hear some things, other people will hear some things, but if they don't tell us, we don't know. So, again, balls in your court, listeners. Give us the news, and we will gladly tell you what's going on.
And before we talk a little more about the survey results, I do want to say Karell and I are going to be at Convergence. We're going to bring it to you. We already have some ideas in the works. We're going to make some videos. We're going to take some pictures. We're going to try to bring Convergence to you for those who aren't able to attend. And for those who are, hopefully we'll see you there. You might make an appearance.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Karell is doing commissions right now. I'm going to shout out to her because, that's some news. Karell is doing commissions, and she is amazing. You guys should really, if you want a commission done, you should really think about commissioning her because she is prompt with her artwork. It is always to specifications. And she is just so easy and friendly to work with. I have commissioned a number of people, and they have been excellent. I have nothing to complain about. But I've always gone back to Karell, and I've always been so, so, so happy with her work. It has just been phenomenal. One of her commissions, she even colored it for me, and I'm going to sound like an old folk. Doggone it, that is the most popular piece of art on my page. And I love it. Every time I see it, it's the backdrop on my computer. It just makes me smile. And you should really consider commissioning her. The end.
And if you happen to attend to Convergence, I can, bring the drawing with me at the Convergence and give it to you. So you can...
I would love that. But yeah, let's talk about our new website and our survey results.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous!
I know. Oh, Karell outdid herself. Anybody who has anything nice to say about the website, direct it to Kodalea because she made
podcast mommy.
Yay! She took such good care of us. But she made it look absolutely stunning. And one of the coolest things that we were able to do was have that survey, which we wanted to share a few of the results with you. But let's see. I want to pull up that poll that you just sent us. First things first, I want to say thank you, everyone who wanted Fan of the Week to return. I had started that originally because to me it was a way to appreciate the fans. A little tangent here. I have an elementary education background. That's my degree. It's not what I do. But one thing we always did was we stressed appreciating each other, and we did it was called Student of the Week, and it wasn't a popularity contest. It was totally random draw. We put the names. Yeah, I bet we did. My school didn't. My school sucked apparently. But we put everyone's name in a hat and we just pulled it out of the hat and done. That's who we appreciated. And we had a write-up about them. We let them talk about some of their hobbies. They got to share some really cool stuff. And while I'm not able to reach everybody as far as, your personal interests or, your work or your hobbies or whatever, we are able to reach you through the Gargoyles fandom. And what I wanted it to be was just my way to bring members of the fandom to the forefront. We started our podcast because we felt Gargoyles was slipping away from us, and we just didn't want that. And there are so many people out there who have contributed so much or, just made some cool stuff. And it was our way to share it. And so that's kind of what Fan of the Week is. It's a very long tangent, but it was my way to share that. And so it's just been so much fun being able to present everybody to you. The ultimate goal is to find every fan. Now, this is where Karell's challenge comes in handy. I don't know everybody. So if I miss somebody or if you think somebody really needs to be recognized, let me know. I will be happy to recognize them. Really, the only requirement I have is please, 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 no super porn. We are okay with a little bit of erotica, but I do have to be very careful about what we post. We do try to keep it relatively family friendly. Some nakedness is okay. A little sexual content is okay, but most people know the difference between.
Basically, we'll go up to rated R, but we don't want NC-17.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And my other requirement is we do need something that we can present because it is on the Tumblr page, which I realize, that's a reposting page. So if you don't have something to share, it makes it a little harder. But, even if you have some merchandise or even if you just have some cool facts that you want to share, just something that I can post throughout the week. That's awesome.
I mean, as embarrassed-ish as I am about my collection, I still showed it, so.
You know what? When you were talking about your collection, Karell, and you mentioned the Baskin-Robbins cake, I had a Gargoyles cake, but the picture is hideous and it's on Facebook. I'm not sharing it on the podcast.
What? Actually, that is something I did want to bring up, and this, if I may go onto a very quick tangent.
Yeah, go for it. I've rambled along in time.
This is actually a shout out to my father. When I was in middle school, I think either 8th grade or when I was in high school, 9th grade or something, I got my report card at the end of the year and it was like, wow, 3.66 GPA, hooray! So what does my dad do? This is during the infancy of eBay, when eBay was actually a good place to go. What does he do? He buys me an unopened box of the Series 1 trading cards. He got me that board game. He got me the VHS. What else did he get me? There was like a whole bunch of other stuff there. So I don't have the photo itself. I can't show you. But one day, because my parents are separated, my father calls the house. And he starts telling me what he's managed to win on eBay. And my eyes are just, oh my God, they are just growing into saucers and my jaw is almost 2 feet to the floor. And my brother, he takes a picture and it's like, oh my God, this pure unadulterated joy. So a fairly large portion of my collection is thanks to my father. So thanks, Dad.
Aw, thank you, Karell's dad. That's very sweet. Yeah, I've quite a bit of my collection. Well, I shouldn't say quite a bit. I found certain items of my collection from eBay, recent eBay, so I am careful about what I buy. But yeah, that's kind of what Fan of the Week is. I don't want to miss anybody. I want everyone to be recognized and appreciated, and damn it, just to show off what kind of fan you really are. We did take a little bit of hiatus. I apologize. That was personal issues. On my side, I'm not going to divulge into them because, it's a podcast. Yep, private stuff. But it's back, and it's thanks to you because we received survey results that said bring it back. So we are. Thank you for it's just comforting to know people like it as much as I do.
And again, I'm sure we have already approached this, but the people who did respond to our survey and actually gave us feedback, again, we thank you with all of our hearts. I mean, the feedback is especially important. I mean, granted, like I said earlier, we love to hear ourselves talk, but it's for you guys. So, tell us what you want to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those channels are always open. It doesn't have to just be the survey. Anytime that you have a suggestion or an idea, or, we take constructive feedback. We're very approachable people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, if you feel more comfortable talking to one of us as opposed to the other two, we all have different, we all have separate email addresses. We have, other ways of communication. And, we're not going to, if you have a complaint or anything, we're not going to say, oh, this person's being a bitch, pardon my language. We'll take it as constructive and we'll work it out, So, oh crap, I can't remember what I was going to say. Damn it. We're all approachable and we'd like to think we're adults here. So, we will take any suggestions constructively and see what we can do with them. So pursuant to contacting us, there are multiple ways of doing so. As I said, we all have email addresses. You can also talk to us on the Facebook group Gargoyles Reawakening. You can send us a message through DeviantArt at Gargoyles Reawakening. And hell, there's even that Steam hub that practically nobody uses, which is okay. It's okay. But yes, you can send me a message over Steam. My user tag is RB brackets Blaster Guardian, and you can talk to me and say, hey, I got an idea or something to that extent. And of course, you can always send feedback through the website itself, gargoylesreawakening.com, and we will respond to you as quickly as we can. Because, we love you in that platonic, hey, listen to us talk and we'll talk about you sense.
But that means we can move on to our roar.
Cool.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Echo. Yeah. Impressive.
Yeah.
So I think that's basically me when I've lost a round in Team Fortress 2.
I suddenly just had this visual comic of Guardian just throwing her head back in front of the computer and just...
Hey, anybody want to do that as a commission?
Commission? I hear commission.
I hear commission. I can pay. I just don't know how to use PayPal very well, but I'll learn.
Then also in our roar, we are continuing our 9.5. So this is the part where you actually get to see Karell and my collections of our merchandise. We meant to bring this to you earlier, but, due to stuff, it's a little later than necessary. But we still hope that you really, really enjoy every moment of it.
Because we most certainly did talking about it.
We did, yeah. It was
We like
really
to talk
fun.
about our stuff. Indeed.
We do. We like to talk about ourselves. And as I told Karell just a few minutes ago, the birthday cake picture is not available on the podcast, only on the Facebook page. Sorry, guys. I just look really atrocious.
Well, we were, 12 or something?
I was 14, and I had some.
See, there you
I
go.
was rocking some very thick paint.
Oh,
Which no longer exist. But yeah, let's move on to the roar. To begin with, we are starting with Karell's collection, and it's really awesome. I know we recorded this a couple of months ago, so I don't remember fully everything that's in there, but I don't remember fully everything that's in my collection, so I guess that's fair.
You have to watch it again.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it again.
Oh, and by the way, we had a comment in our survey that some people didn't know that we had a video version of this podcast. So if you want to see what we're talking about, with the fan art or with the collections, you can go on YouTube and see on Kodalea channel. There are every videos that we did for each podcast, and you can see what we're talking about.
And I also watch it on our website at the www.gargoylesreawakening.com, and you can see everything there. All right, so after Karell's collection, we have our lovely Karell. She's got some very interesting things, including a calendar that I really, really want her to talk about. So take it away, Karell.
Well, what can I say? When I saw your collections, I felt like, there were like 1% of the merchandising that crossed the ocean, so I don't have much thing maybe to show, but maybe things that you may not have on your part of your world. So let me maybe show you.
Europeans there, they love us too.
So this This is a straw I bought at the Disney store at that time when they had some merchandising.
I wanted one.
I know, I didn't get one of these either. I thought this was so cool when I saw it on your page.
It
Although
was
it looks like it's the same as the dangler. But hey, that's cool. That means you could have a straw and a dangler.
yeah, but we didn't have danglers.
If I had that, I would make sure almost every beverage I would drink, I would use that damn straw.
See, and I'm the one who would be like, no, I must preserve it. I can't use it.
I would preserve it.
Yeah,
I mean, I would wipe
wash
the
those
thing.
I never used it, to be honest.
Diaper. That's
Well,
how
there you
I
go.
would
Then you don't have to
treasure
worry
this
about
thing.
washing it.
I
Very
never
careful how I would wash this thing.
I drunk
it'll be
with this
trying-
one, to be honest. It's just my little collection. It was that time that I was still at school and I didn't have much money, so
Oh, yeah.
I went to the mall like once a month maybe. There was the Disney
Okay.
store there, and I couldn't afford maybe more than a few things, a manga and maybe
Yeah, that stuff is
I was
expensive
just
at the
drooling.
store.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
And at that time, they actually at the Disney store I went to, there was only this drawer, and there were a little figurine of Bronx. I think there were Lexington and Eliza, and that's it. That's it. And I just bought this straw and the little Bronx, and the story is that, like, well, it's 10 years ago now, but I had this little Bronx figurine, and it was like my number one item in my house. And I went to USA in 10 years ago in 2004 to visit a friend who was teaching French in the Santa Barbara University, and I felt like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring Bronx in his motherland, and I brought this little Bronx there, and I was so proud, I brought you here, and I lost it there, so I
Oh no!
yeah.
No! Oh!
And when I went back here at home, I didn't find it, and it was really heartbreaking because they were not selling it anymore. So I was screwed.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
Yeah, and
I
saw
I'm so
that you had it
speechlessly-
on your collection, Lisa.
So,
And now I'm jealous.
So depressingly
Oh,
sad
the little
for you.
Bronx.
Yeah,
I feel
From
like
the minis.
crying, really. I'm so sorry for you.
yeah.
No, if you have the Bronx, then give it to Karell, not me.
If I was physically right there with you right now, I would definitely give you a hug.
Yeah, it's 10 years now, so
This is the legendary calendar.
yeah.
No, this
Holy
is oh wait, this is from a sticker book,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I was
Wow.
gonna say because I have
Okay.
this.
I thought this was the calendar showing what the pictures are in and what's in there.
No, that's not the calendar. It was a poster when you put the stickers. Yeah, the stickers.
Yep, the stickers.
Yeah, I had it. It was a Panini album. I think I saw this in your collection too. So you had it in USA too, right?
We did. Yep.
Yeah, you did. Okay, so I think it's the only one album that I felt completely. The only one, because I had some more, but this one I had to. Yeah, this is the album in French.
Cool.
Oh, this one is quite funny because actually this was a gift from my good friend Anouk. She's living in south of France, and she was at second-hand fair. When like a garage sales.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And she saw that in south of France, so at her place, and she sent me a text saying that, I found a little Goliath. I thought about you. Do you want me to take it?
You're like, yes, yes.
You're like, yes, you even have to ask.
Like, hell yes. And she bought it like for €1 or €2, and she sent it back to me, and it's a real funny because if you're not paying attention to his wings. You know, they are open just suddenly, and you have to be careful because it just storms all over the place because it's very violent. I took pictures with it with the open wings. Yeah, this one.
Any of you have the Mighty Roar Goliath?
The what?
Mighty Roar
The
Goliath?
Roar Goliath. My brother had him, and I do not believe he survived.
Oh.
I know.
Damn, your brother is really destructive.
No, he really wasn't. But, you know, kids are kids. You bring stuff to school, and you play with it. A couple things got stolen from him, so he had to stop bringing his toys to school.
Yeah.
So you can, I don't know if you can see it, but it's the one with the open wings. It's quite big.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at him on that bookshelf. Oh, go ahead.
That looks like it's a good foot, almost.
I don't know what a foot is.
Yeah. Put on from end to end.
Oh, it's like your two ends, one against the other.
Yes, of the wingspan.
Yeah, it's quite big.
Pretty impressive. I remember seeing that in stores back in the day.
Maybe it's one that we have and you didn't. Who knows?
European.
No, I never bought it, but I do remember seeing it in stores.
So this is a magazine that I bought it was quite old. I think it was maybe 10 years ago also. And it had a special article about gargoyles, and it had also a poster with gargoyles. And it's funny because it's a magazine about mostly animation, but mostly Japanese animation. And it was quite unexpected to have an article about a Disney animation.
Well, we do know is that Disney got a lot of help from the Koreans in developing this.
The Japanese first. I think the team was Japanese first.
I think it was primarily from Japan.
Yeah, Frank said Japan animation.
Yeah, it was Disney Japan. Yeah. And there is this.
So with that in context, it doesn't seem all that strange. But even then, I mean, the difference between forgive me, I mean no disrespect to the art form, generic anime, what we know as regular anime, and Gargoyles doesn't look very anime-ish at all.
No,
at least on first glance, but I'm sure there are similarities in the animation style.
But what's cool is that they were not like Japanese. All the Japanese is good and all US stuff is bad. I know that they talked about a lot about Japanese animation, but they seem to enjoy a lot about Gargoyles and its darkness and its own characters. They really enjoyed that.
They being the editors of the magazine at the time, I think?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
So
Gargoyles transcends country boundaries.
Yay. And this
or I guess
the
more
like the TV show with all the different clans throughout the world.
And this is my comic book about gargoyles in a very, I guess, European type of comic book. It's not really a comics like we say here. I
love how they subtitled it, "The Angels of the Night."
Yeah. I think I scanned every pages and I've put it on the Facebook group. I know that I'm not allowed to because it's against all the.
So those pages came from this.
Yeah, this one.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
And actually, I bought it at my current it's a Target store, I guess. And when I saw that in the bookshelf, I just couldn't pass away.
Couldn't resist. Oh no!
Are you kidding me? Gargoyles here.
I'll still go to garage sales, and if I see something from Gargoyles, it's like, no, I shouldn't, but I must, even if I have it. So I hear you. I know what you're saying.
You got to give that figure a good home.
You do.
You got that drug addict twitch all of a sudden.
Give me my fix.
Toys, cards, comics, stuff.
Figures, action figures.
And and so this comic is about the Awakening episodes, and not only the Awakening, but the first season actually, because they are part of it are about the I don't know, I don't remember the title of this episode. The one when Hudson Demona is hunting Hudson, and
The Long Way Till Morning.
yeah, this one. Well,
Cool.
it covered the first season, so it's quite cool, and the art
Awesome.
is quite. I drew a lot from from this one.
Nice.
Let me show you the Gargoyles calendars.
I am so excited to see these. You have no
Oh.
idea.
Oh. From 2007 artist
These are
artwork
stunning.
from DA.
Yeah, I wish I
Nice.
could. I wish I knew about
Nice.
this one
I
before.
heard of. I saw it how it was being slowly produced around that time
I had the chance to
from all
to be
groups
part of the.
from a whole group of cooperative artists, but I never actually got to see the actual finished product.
I see if I can bring them to the gathering. Who knows?
Guard it with your
Conversion?
life.
I hope that I can put it in the trolley without damaging them.
Yeah, you might want to be careful with that.
Mm-mm. So
Exactly.
So
Like
were
I
these
said, you want to
available
handle
for
that thing
purchase,
with a diaper.
or were these swapped around whoever contributed to them? Because I actually don't know about these.
I thought you could purchase them. Am I wrong?
oh yeah,
about that?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was online. I took part. I drew an illustration for both of them. Yeah, I think it was on DeviantArt. You could purchase them on. I don't remember which one. Which.
Oh, there's your name.
Yeah, I'm on there. And for the 2007, I did this one. It was a collaboration with Rita Mikozi. So it's featuring Evan Fiore, and it was Absinthe, Delacroix, and Melusine from the Clan of Paris.
Ooh.
I love how bitter Fiore looks. Snow, F my life.
Yeah, so Rita
much hate.
drew this, and I did the coloring.
It's beautiful work.
Indeed.
This is one of my favorite pictures, really.
I loved it. It was quite fun as a collaboration.
I love the idea of the Italian and French clans. Really, I just wish someday Weissman would just come out and say, "You know what? I accept this as canon."
And I know that I drew it in daylight, but well, I don't care. It's better.
You know, it's dark. It's dark enough from the snowstorm that it's almost as good as
It's the Northern Lights. Northern Lights.
Yeah, let's put it that way.
And so the other one in 2008, and this one had a particular theme because it was about redrawing a scene from the episodes themselves.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and I
I should have
think
known about these.
it was a project. Oh God, I don't remember his name, but it was a German guy from the Acaronian clan who managed all the project, to organize with the
neat.
artist and.
See Galax?
No, it was not Galax. It was it was Max Bauer, and there was actually There were two people actually. There was Max Bauer and Manuela Gorner. Oh God, I don't remember her name. Her nickname. It was Caddy. Yeah, her name was Caddy.
Yeah. Caddy or Kitty?
Yeah. So they managed to organize all things and make everything possible. Oh, there's
Cool.
It's very cool.
Here you can see the URL, the address. To be honest, I didn't try to see if it's still available. And so for this one, I did also, and it was quite cool because there were artists from US and from Europe too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there were Kaithira and Mommy Spike and me and
Goldfish.
that's Purple Goldfish. Yeah, Aranesh.
Panteras.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Lilith right
Awesome.
there. I just mentioned.
Sorry.
I was just mentioning you were trying to name who that German person was. I was thinking.
Yeah, she was here.
One was thinking of the kitty icon on DeviantArt, and I was thinking that's Lilith because she always had that like little sad face-looking kitty as her avatar icon.
I remember this from your fan of the week. I do. I love this picture.
I had so much trouble to draw Bronx because as it was my favorite character in the show, I really wanted to have him in first place, and I wanted him to look right,
Mm.
And he's
You
so
did
difficult.
pretty
much
good to me.
justice. He would glomp you and lick you to death.
And Boudica, I
Bennett
love.
agreed.
I heard it. And you can see it was in my former room with the calendars.
Lovely.
Great excuse why you should always keep your door closed.
And of course, the set of trading cards that Lisa sent me. So again, thank you so much.
Oh, you're
Because-
welcome.
For the little anecdote, I spent a lot of time in Paris when I was young, and actually next to my manga store there was a little store that sold comics and little fairies and little trading cards from US or Occidental franchises, and I know that I bought some Reboot trading cards or some what other
Oh, bootleg?
Reboot.
The TV show.
Reboot
Yeah.
the show.
the show.
Wow, I'm an idiot.
It
My
was.
apologies.
I love that show too.
I love that show too, and I bought some, the Dragonheart, the movie, Dragonheart trading cards. I bought
Oh yeah,
the
that's a fairly good movie.
I have
Yeah.
Draco in my collection.
Are you kidding?
No, if you noticed the photo with Bronx, you probably saw this wing tip. That is
God.
Draco's wing.
I must look closer next time. But I would love to.
Yeah,
have, oh God.
it's protecting Bender and Zap Brannigan from dust, I guess.
I have a look, but I so wanted, a little figurine or statue of Draco from Dragonheart. I would just die for it. I'm a big fan of this picture. So let's take it back to Brooklyn because
Sorry.
no, it's me, and of course I have the comic books, the TPB. And of course I had the Goliath mug, again, thanks to Lisa.
You're welcome.
I didn't even know that there were some because, as I said, we had 1% of the merchandising here. So we didn't have store that sold it, so no.
Oh.
We may have Toys R Us,
Again,
so
Disney,
the
treat the
toys
Europeans better, man.
the toys that little boys could buy, but not the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and and there this one I wanted to show you because it goes with the stickers album. I have this little box filled with double and triples and little stickers that I have tons of them. And maybe I have hundreds.
Nice.
And I still have them. I still have them.
Nice.
That's awesome.
With a hint of tobacco scented.
Yeah. And this little box can handle that. And of course, my collection of VHS with all the episodes.
VHS, I love it.
And I don't have
God, I miss that technology.
I don't have VHS recorder to see them again.
Play 'em.
Oh. But you
I
gotta keep
know.
them anyway.
We finally got rid of our VCR too, and I'm like, but
I would
my
never
gargoyles.
surrender mine. Never.
Well, you got them on DVD, Lisa.
I do now, but I did not at the time. So we actually
Oh, I see.
we
Yeah,
actually
that
bought
would've been-
dubbing stuff. We bought a
Like,
cheap
there's-
VCR from
you can still find units where they have both the VHS and DVD formats built into one. I
Yes.
have one in my family living room. You can watch both VHS as well as DVDs. So you just need to try to find in some electronic store, maybe a big retail store, that they might sell it.
We found a cheap one at a thrift store, and I actually used it we bought some dubbing software, so we put them all on the computer before the DVDs were released. So I actually did have them on the computer, and then we were able to put them on DVDs that I could watch, but, they weren't exactly marketable quality. So now I do
Exactly.
have the DVDs.
And here it is.
Yep.
And
You want
voila.
to get some glue on that one label that's coming off.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, I don't even know that if they are still working because I can't see if the tape is going old or not, and if it's still seeable, I guess. I don't know. And it's funny because before this summer, it was the only French version that I had. I know that there's a friend of mine who gave me all the episodes in French this summer, and I thank her. I would never thank her enough for that. Now it's kind of relic. It's kind of relic type.
Well, thank you for sharing your collection. I'm in awe of those calendars. Like I want
pretty badass. I didn't.
I know. I want to go back and buy them all. I'm sure everyone's like, no, I'm not selling mine. But
Probably not. No.
They are
I actually
beautiful.
still have my
They're
2002
beautiful.
calendar that they sold during the 01 gathering.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very lucky of you, Coda. Very lucky.
I think it's amazing that you were a part of it. Like
That
is
too.
badass.
yeah.
I think
I
that
didn't realize what kind of calendar it were. I thought it was like the official Disney, but it's the artist's contribution from DA. Nice.
Well,
Nice.
you know what? To me, that makes it more personalized. I mean, these
Yeah,
are the
that too.
people who know the show, so
Yeah.
I can only imagine the artwork inside.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I was asked to be a part of it, because I think that without that I wouldn't have maybe known them, and I wouldn't be able to buy them at the first place. So
I know this magazine, Cards. That used to be very big back in the 90s. It was published alongside with what's it called, Toy Fair and the Wizard comic book magazines.
I
Yep,
remember those. I had some of those back
I
in the
had
day.
some of those too.
I
had
collected
some of the Toy
all the
Fair.
almost all the Wizard magazines. They were fun to read, and the Toy Fair one. The Toy Fair were fucking hilarious. I swear to God, it must have been written by Seth Green, because the jokes from that. Oh my God! It's exactly like Robot Chicken before it ever was.
Yeah, Tom Root was an editor on Toy Fair who eventually went on to Robot Chicken. I remember reading
that's
about
right.
that.
Well, this is actually part of my collection.
That's a joke that I
Charles.
made. My God, what you need eggs for every meal? That came from a Toy Fair magazine making fun of Star Wars action figures, where Obi-Wan bent over and he went brah, and Vader in the background like choking and making that comment. Oh, your fart smells like eggs. I laughed my ass. That was the funniest things I've ever read.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I wish I had that right now. That magazine. God bless you, Karell.
no, that's not me.
Wow.
No, that one's mine.
That's
Oh,
Lisa.
that's yours.
Yeah, that's mine. We moved on to my collection. Like we didn't transition. We were just pulling up the pictures because you started talking about the Cards magazine that popped up.
I'm not worthy.
All right. Well, as you can see, we moved on to my collection, but I still wanted to thank Karell for sharing hers. So thank you for
very
that.
much.
We are moving
Very
on to my collection. I have to admit, I'm a little humble about talking about my merchandise. This is my first time actually talking to fans about my collection.
Don't be shy. Let your hair down.
My hair is down.
Let it grow longer then.
It's very long. So this is the beginning of my collection. And yeah, like Charles was saying, I have this Cards magazine. Now, this is not something that I actually got when I was younger. This is something that I recently purchased because it came in a bundle pack from eBay. And it's actually really cool, but it cracks me up because they spelled Xanatos with a Z. So whoever the editor was, shame on you. But yeah, they spelled Xanatos with a Z, but it's a press release. And it actually talks about the release. It had an interview with Jonathan Frakes inside, which again, hilarious that they misspelled his character's name. So that's what this is. Yeah, right. Derp. But it's a really good read. I don't really look at it very often. As you can see, it's actually plastic wrapped with a cardboard back. Yeah, but this is something that I recently acquired, so it's nothing that I've had since like the 90s.
That reminds me, I have the old Disney Adventures
I
article,
do too. I almost scanned those in, but I decided not to. I just scanned in the covers.
There you go.
Yep.
Like I said to you, Lisa, over and over again, you were the queen of collecting when it comes to Gargoyles.
Well, thank you. You'll probably say that more after you see everything that I have in here, because there's.
I already have an inkling, but I'm already expecting to have my my eyeballs and brains just explode. They're like atom bombs.
These are two books that I know that they were mass produced, but my brother, being younger than I am, he was still getting the Scholastic Reader magazines after I went out of elementary school. So these were actually something that you could purchase from the Scholastic Book Club. And so, of course, I was like, Matthew, I want these. And he's like, yeah, I know. Well, you know, in elementary school, Charles, we used to get those Scholastic Readers with the book club. And that was like the highlight of the month, you know?
God, I wish I seen those.
I wish I still got those when I student taught. Oh, that was horrible. Anyway, but these were one of the items that came in my brother's Scholastic Book Club, and so I bought these from him. One of them, of course, is the beginning story, and one of them, I don't remember what the Damona's Revenge is about, but I think it was their take on Long Way to Morning, if I remember right. I'd have to read them again.
That was awesome.
These... Honestly, one of them is just a little pop-up book from Burger King, and you'll see the action-packed pop-up adventure. And the other one is just a little advertisement, but I wanted to put it in here because I love that graphic of Goliath. I know that one's featured on quite a bit of merchandise here in the U.S., but I just wanted to focus on that. And it I don't even remember where it came. Oh, yes, I do. It came in my Xanatos Roadster. So that was the advertisement booklet that came with it.
I like the cool merchandise inside.
I'm surprised I never saw the Burger King commercial.
I can
It
link
would have
you.
been amazing if I would have saw that on TV.
It's actually pretty cheesy, and I'm saying that with the utmost love. But it's pretty cheesy.
No, I love it. They add the animation of the gargoyles into the damn commercial. That's sweet.
I wish we still had Burger King at that time because they closed all their restaurants at that time in France.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
They are just opening new restaurants right now.
Oh
Why there was a whole out closure of the Burger King franchise?
Because they didn't make money enough, I guess.
But they just gave up, and just recently they're starting again.
Yeah.
Well, they need to sell. You need to sell gargoyle toys, and then everyone will go there. I have to admit, I got most of my gargoyle toys on a summer vacation. We used to take longer vacations and just kind of travel around. And during 1995, when all the Burger King toys were out, I relentlessly bothered my parents that we had to stop at Burger King. And I think that's the most Burger King we have ever eaten. That and when the Lion King toys came out. And, you know, seriously, we don't eat that much fast food. I think every time I was like, it's a new week, they have a new toy. My parents were like, oh my goodness, how are you our daughter? So, but yeah, we got to go and enjoy them. This is one of my books. I think Karell had this one too, but it's The Defenders of the Night. The
artwork is quite weird on this one.
It is. I'm not familiar with the company, but they actually did quite a few of the books. I wish I had the book in front of me. I put it back in my collection bin, so Bennett wouldn't get it. But
every time you open that bin, it's like the Raiders of the Lost Ark theme plays. Da, 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 da,
you know what is so sad? I thought I had put everything in my collection bin so I could keep it nice. You would not believe how many things I still found laying around my house when I was looking for my collection stuff. So this is one of many books that are in there. But yeah, the artwork on this one is really different. So I don't know if this is a company that Disney often goes through. I'm not really up to date on that, but yeah, the artwork is kind of, yeah, I think so. Lowest bid.
It was a free for all in the 90s. Whatever they can cash in, but still gargoyles.
But this is one that I picked up, and I want to say I picked this one up at my local Target back in the 90s. When it was released, we spent in this one too, While the Sea Sleeps. This one has better artwork, and this is the pop-up that she was talking about. The pop-up is really cool inside. I wish I had taken a picture of that.
Live on this one.
Yeah, he looks like he's coming right at you. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, badass look.
Yeah, this one is more in character.
Yes, I agree. And it's the same company. If you see the little emblem at the top, it is the same company.
Yeah.
So
Hey, look, we hired a better artist.
I guess. Yeah.
maybe. I won't talk about the books too much because I know Karell did. This one is simply the Awakening story.
Mhm.
And this one's by Golden Books. It's a different company. The story
Oh,
is a little bit.
they make wonderful stuff.
They do. I still buy Golden Books. Well, I obviously have a kid, so of course I do. But yeah, they still make fantastic books. But yeah, this one's just the Awakening story. And this is that Look and Find. You thought it was the or no,
For
this is
me,
Meet the
but
Characters.
closer now it isn't because it doesn't have the electronic
Right. I do know
border
what book,
around.
I do know what book you're talking about, but I never picked that one up.
There is one that exists though.
There is. Yep, there is.
Electronic sound effect book.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. I just never purchased it.
You should.
Well, good luck finding it now. But
The colors are so
at the
weird on
time I
this
should
one.
have. I should have taken a
Shame
couple
on you.
pictures of
Shame
the
on
inside of
you.
this one.
Yeah.
Because the colors that you see, and look, it's that same company.
Yeah.
The colors that you see on the outside carry over into the inside of the book.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's very different. I mean, a couple of the pictures look great. Like, of course, the Brooklyn one does. But yeah, some of them just look really strange. These.
Oh, wow.
I have this
Really
to thank.
badass.
I have my friend Bob to thank. This is a book that he
From
found
England.
from England. He found this book along with a couple others that are going to come through on the rotation in a shop, and he sent them to me.
That's
And
so
they are so cool. And of course, because they're British, they have the British spelling, they have the British language. But you know, this is something I would have never had without him. So I really appreciate this. And he just sent this out of the goodness of his
Correction.
heart.
Queen's English.
Yes, and here's a coloring adventure. This is also from Bob in England. He was featured on our show. For those who listened to that interview, it was fantastic. I converted him to being a Gargoyles fan, which is funny because he sent these to me when I was in college. He had come over to visit the U.S. and he stayed with me for 2 weeks. I met him. I'm going to give a little backstory. I'm so sorry. I met him on a Mysterious Seas of Gold chat room. That was my first interaction with a chat room. I was sitting in my history class. It was like my junior year of high school. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I miss Mysterious Seas of Gold. So I went on the internet and I found this chat room. And I made some very dear friends on there. And one of them, of course, was Bob. Well, he and I stayed in communication for a few years. And then he did come over to visit. And while he was here, I made him watch Awakening. And he had never seen anything like this show. And he was just like, what is this? And to this day, I don't know what he thought about it at that time. Now, of course, he's a huge fan. He has all 3 of the DVDs. You know, and he has a wonderful perspective on the show. But this is something that he sent to me. He sent me that reading book, and then he sent me this coloring adventure. Another coloring adventure, which yes, I did color some of the pages inside. No, I will not show people because they look horrible. And then he sent me a 4th book too, which should be in the rotation. But yes, I have Bob to thank for these. Yep, there's
Thank
the other
you,
coloring
Bob.
adventure. Bob, you're awesome. Yep, this is one of the coloring adventures too. I really should have taken a couple pictures of the inside because it does tell a very unique story. It's so different from the American version. I really should have. Maybe for another time. Or maybe I'll post them on my DeviantArt. I haven't decided.
I love
Yep,
the
and there's the other one.
Ladybird brand. It's a very well-known book company.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a lot of fairy tales, you know, with the
cool.
cassette tape and the little book with it, and it was a very, very, very good books. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. This is, I think this is the last of the group that he sent me, but this is a Meet the Characters poster book. My poster picture didn't show up very well, but the only thing inside is this huge poster that you take out, and there's a front and a back. And the front side shows all of the characters, and then the back side is just an awesome poster. Yeah, my picture is horrible on this one. But yeah, it tells...
That's cool.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's a full-size poster. It actually, when I hold it up, it's seriously almost like my height. I'm 5'5", and
I bow before you.
You can see a foot in the picture because we had it laying on the floor.
That's Liberty in the background. That's just fucking sweet.
Well, thank you, and thank Bob because he found it.
Again,
he always tells me it was just a random coincidence that he found
it. Wow.
So yeah, that's from across the pond. Let's see. Here's the coloring book.
Someday, just to look at your stuff.
Just look at my stuff. Well, hopefully.
Well, of course, to visit you. Well, but after reading your stuff.
Well, I have to like pat you down as you leave and be like,
I am not going to
steal
steal it. If I were going to, I would have to. I have to basically bring in an armored truck.
No, it's just 2 bins. You could do it easily. This is the coloring book that you were talking about, Charles. I do have it. I didn't put any of the pictures up, but I do have the coloring book that you were trying to look for earlier.
Yes, that's the one I have.
Mm-hmm. And this is part of a series. It came with there's some foam stamps or foam pieces that came with it. They're further down. I should have put them all together. This was part of a desktop art kit that I picked up, probably 95. But what you did is you were able to color in the pictures, obviously, and then some of them were just plain backdrop. So you could do like the stampers on them, or the foam stamp, like you could stamp the foam. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But you could make your own story, basically. But then there were 2 sets, and I have them intermixed, so I apologize for that. Of course, I opened all of my merchandise. But there were 2 sets, and this one was just a coloring one. It came with markers, which I still have, and they're still usable. I still use them quite a bit when I'm coloring things. But there were a series of pictures, and then you'll see some of just the random backdrops, and you could put the gargoyles on the backdrops. Yeah, and it was just a fun little activity, and had all of the characters.
No, this is from this is different. Is this from the very one you showed me with the cover?
This is from an art kit. It was totally different than the coloring book. Well, it was just something to do during the summer when I was.
I absolutely love this one.
This one's amazing.
Ass.
But yeah, they were done by Roaaar, and you can see the little stamp down in the bottom. I made sure to leave the copyright in there.
I love how the police is chasing after this.
And he's just being a badass. Yeah, look at him. And I have to comment, there's always a debate about the height and weight of the characters. And Greg Wiseman has always said, well, I never stipulated what they weigh or how tall they are. But where this comes from, we had trading cards, and then we had things like this that showed all of these different weights. And one of them would show height. It would show the weight while they're awake, and then the weight while they're sleeping. And the weight for Broadway was like 10 tons. And I think Greg Wiseman was asked about that on Ask Greg, and he's like, well, I never said what they weighed. And he goes, that's very inaccurate because, Broadway was brought over on a helicopter. How could that helicopter go across the ocean with a 10?
That's a good point.
It would be impossible for Broadway to fly it.
But this is exactly where fans got that information to clarify. If you looked at all of the cards, or if you looked at stuff like this, it always referenced this as the character sheet. So it was pretty funny. And here's just more of these.
I'm as fat as he is, and I'm not. I don't look as much as a goddamn light tank.
Yeah, and well, and I like Little Lexington. He's the next one I saw. But yeah, it shows all of his. He's just a little 5-footer. He's a little guy. One thing that's really neat, and this is off subject, is these, of course, have the New York City skyline, so you still see the World Trade Center. And I always thought that was really cool, especially after 9/11.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just kind of nice little memorabilia. There's Hudson kicking some ass.
The area building.
Oh, maybe that was Goliath. I was totally wrong. Yep, there's
That
the
was
area.
Goliath.
Yeah, that was Goliath.
Or-
Whatevs, I don't care.
I
don't
this
have
one, the 10 tons.
There's Broadway. Yep. And he eats a lot. This was actually
I think it's just joking about the 10 tons because you remember right in the beginning the
when you were
Awakening
talking about.
episode
Oh yeah.
where he was joking about his weight.
Yes.
And even
I
1 ton in
figured,
flesh,
he's
that's
just boasting about how much he really weighs.
that's an elephant. That's a little big one. A little too big, yeah.
And I'm going to admit on this one, I actually had it colored in, and my husband was able to Photoshop it back to black and white,
Okay.
so that people could actually see it. But this is one that I actually have colored, and it looks pretty good. I just wanted the black and white in case people want to see it.
Oh, wait a minute. 10 tons while he's in stone form.
While he's in stone form.
1 ton is actual physical.
Right, so they were trying to say he weighed 2,000 pounds normally. So yeah, very, very big misconception, I believe. But funny. But these pictures, I mean, this was just a little art
I can
kit.
believe Goliath being at least a ton.
I think on his, they said that when he was stone, he was. I don't remember.
Maybe they got the whole thing mixed up. It's Goliath is the one that's going to be worth the big weight because his mass. Just, I mean, how else do you think he earned the damn name?
He earned it from Prince Malcolm.
Exactly.
But not because of his weight.
Because of the size, I mean.
His size, yeah.
Yes, the physical size. I mean, I mean, just that scene where he's standing on top of the cliff edge when he's roaring with rage about it and denied revenge. Whoa. He actually looks like 5 times bigger than he actually is.
But yeah, I mean, these were just really cool prints that came in that art kit, or the 2 art kits, I should say. I actually like this one. I don't know. I think they did a great job. I know they're just the usual screenshots that we saw of the characters, but it's really cool how they compiled them together.
Yeah.
And these are some stickers that I colored in. They came in one of the art kits.
Damn good job.
Oh, thank you. I did not think so, but that's okay. I decided people get to see colors. But these came in one of them. Here's the Burger King toys. I do not know where my Burger King toys are, but these are the toys that you could acquire. And I spent pretty much a full summer getting them until they rotated the toys out. So I do have all of these. One's a viewfinder. One is like you push a button and Bronx scoots across the floor. One of them is a viewfinder. It's kind of like a little kaleidoscope. One of them is a spinning Broadway. You pull the lever and he spins between Broadway and Stone Broadway.
The good old days.
And then I can't see the bottom one, but I think it's
the sparkling spinner.
Yeah, it's the sparkling spinner.
It's considered a moral sin.
To what?
When peddling toys to kids to sell junk food wasn't considered a moral sin, unlike today.
Hey, you gotta get him to eat somehow. I gave my son a plastic hanger to hold on to while he ate his breakfast today. Did it work? Yes. Was it a good idea? Probably not. Anyway. This was the front of the little magazine. So you knew that you were getting the Gargoyle toys. I don't know if they still do this. I don't know if they still have the Burger King.
On the label design of my handheld game.
Oh, yeah. This was a common print that you saw back then.
Well, I've only seen that print on the handheld game, and oh wow, they actually had that same piece of artwork.
Well, and this was from.
What's this, by the way? This adventure.
I don't remember if you remember the Burger King Kids Club, but they used to have little pamphlets that would relate to whatever toy they were selling.
Pamphlets. I remember the Kids Club commercials.
But
this is fucking just beautiful.
Yeah, and if you went into the store or the restaurant, they would always have whatever toy that they were featuring. They would have their little comic book would relate toward it.
I'm kicking myself right now for being a McDonald's fan instead of. God damn it!
I love this little silhouette of Demona behind. Like, I'm here, but I'm not here.
I'm here, but I'm not here. I think they should have had Bronx down with the Burger King Kids
Yeah.
Club kids. Like he should have been giving one a ride or something. There's a short kid. Look, you can see his hair. Have him sitting on Bronx.
I'm going to go in the mirror right now and just shame myself.
Why?
I missed out on this.
Well, the truth of the matter is I was pretty sick as a teenager, and whenever we'd have to travel to go to like a hospital or something, to make it a little basically to dull the pain of having to have whatever had to be done, we would stop by a local store and my parents would be like, "Hey, let's pick out something." So
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean,
I forgot about all that. I didn't know that's how you're lucky to get all this stuff.
the majority of it, yeah. That it was just our thing. Exactly, it worked out.
But still, Burger King had it. Nice job.
You just had to watch commercials. I tell you.
I did, but I never saw the commercials.
This was a paint and marker book, which to me was like the heavens had opened up because I was the kid who ruined all of my coloring books with markers. I know, of course, they made paint and marker books prior to this, but to have a Gargoyles one, this saved my life because then I didn't have to ruin my other coloring book with markers. And these are some collector's pins.
Nice.
Yeah, one of them, the round one with Demona and Goliath, that came in the same box, I believe, as the Cards magazine. The Gargoyles pin that you see with the emblem, I've had that for some time, and I don't remember exactly when I got that one, to be honest. But these are my pins. These are my mugs.
I need your mugs. Nice.
I love my mugs. I've never used my mugs.
At first I saw that, I was so jelly.
Let me think. When did I get these? Brooklyn, I just got 2 years ago. He was the one that I could never find. But I've had Lexington and Broadway. I've had Lexington and Broadway for a long, long time. Down in the Mall of America, when there's a theme park, of course, inside Mall of America. But I used to live down there, so when I'd visit my grandmother, we would go to Mall of America, and they used to have this toy store. It's still there, but it's changed venues, changed names, just like the theme park itself. The theme park is now run by Nickelodeon. It used to be Camp Snoopy. But that store is where I got the majority of toys, the actual collector's items. They had the Lexington and the Broadway mug, and I bought them immediately. And when I went back, they didn't have Goliath or Brooklyn. And when I went back the next year, they were pretty much done with Gargoyles merchandise. And it's like, jerks. So I bought Goliath. I think I bought him, believe it or not, at a garage sale.
The more I look at these mugs, the more I just both admire and loathe you. They're so fucking awesome. I wish I had them too.
And then I bought Brooklyn on eBay a couple of years ago because why have the set if you can't have the full set? So I did complete my collection that way. But my
still
son,
drink from them?
No, I have never drank from them. They are collectors. Okay. My son really likes the Lexington one though, so he may have sampled it.
Like drinking from the Holy Grail.
This is one of my action figures. I did buy her a couple years ago. Somebody had customized a Demona to look like Angela. They did a fantastic job, even though there's a little paint missing from her boob. Whoops. But, all the Demonas had that too. But they did a great job.
Wardrobe malfunction.
And they even used the polymer clay to change her hair. So this was purchased on eBay just kind of on a whim. The seller was amazing. She did a great job, and I thank her for it. And I put Angela up here because Karell had commented on it. This is one of my animation cells.
I wish I really had bought that Lisa and Demona figure. Either Karell or you would have easily bought it to go along with your figure.
This is one of my
animation
animation
for
cells.
the good stuff you've given me.
Oh, thank you, Charles. You don't have to.
I feel bad that I can't pay you guys back. I have to be a moocher.
You're not a moocher. Charles, I wanted when I got rid of some of that stuff, like the trading cards, well, I shouldn't even say got rid of. When I knew that I had to make room for my son's nursery and I had to box up some of my things, I wanted them to go to fans. I didn't want to have to throw them in the trash. And I was so fortunate that I knew you guys because it was perfect. So I was glad I knew you to be able to give them to, because none of my friends would have wanted them.
Again,
It's like at the end of Toy Story, you know, when you give your old toys.
Yeah,
Eternally
exactly.
thankful.
And they were just in such wonderful condition. And, even the card shops up here, I didn't even bother to go check out a price or anything, because to me it was more important that they went to a fan.
Thank you. Really.
This is one of my animation cells from The Price. My husband actually bought this one for me as a Christmas gift 2 years ago. I do not know how much he paid for it, and I don't want to know, but it's in beautiful condition, and he actually paid to have it matted and framed because it matches another animation cell. So he actually took it to a store. I'm sure he just took it to Michael's, but I'm not going to judge. And he had it framed and matted so that it matched my other animation cells. So they are a set.
I would have a hard time just peeling my eyeballs off of that. Wow.
It's hanging up in my downstairs living room. Both of them are.
Wow.
This is my other one from Awakening. And this is the one that I purchased. I purchased it myself a number of years ago. And it's just such a wonderful piece. Of course, it has Brooklyn, which is my favorite. I'll never deny it. But I was so happy that it had Lexington and Bronx and Hudson, too. And it came framed and everything. So,
wow.
And I do have the original paperwork on the back, but I didn't see a point in taking a picture of that.
Disney, pay attention. This is what we want to spend our money on. Bring it back.
This is a painting that I found on eBay as well. I do know the history of it, but at the time I did not. I just thought it was a very cool piece of fan art from Time Dancer Brooklyn. He's reaching for the Phoenix Gate, and it's just so epic. I just loved the energy, and I loved the colors.
Yeah.
I took this. It's not the best picture, but the colors are so dynamic. And then later on DeviantArt, I found out that this was a piece of artwork done by Master Dahill. I can totally link his page, but he made this for a gathering and someone had purchased it, and then they turned around and sold it, so I'm the one who bought this. And I love this. It's hanging.
Again, lucky.
You just have to hunt. I enjoy the hunt. That's what I do. But this is actually hanging. Don't laugh at me. I have a walk-in closet, which is my library.
Yeah, you definitely got the hunting skills of a gargoyle, all right.
And it's hanging above my bookshelf. So it looks wonderful there. This is a little bookmark that I purchased, and that was purchased at the Mall of America store too. On the back of it, there's a little word find. These are my gargoyle danglers. Karell had these too. I'm pretty sure I bought these at the Disney store. I don't think I bought them at the little Mall of America store. This is one of the Disney Adventures. I whited out my address. Sorry, guys. But this is from 1994. And this was the preview for Gargoyles. This is the episode that got
I have
you
something like
pumped.
that similar, but I don't have it where it's the main topic of the issue. All I have is just a little advertisement in it, but it's a beautiful piece of artwork.
Mm-hmm. This was awesome. It gave you a sneak peek behind all of the characters. There
was two of them.
Yeah, there's two of them.
I know, just one.
There were two. This was when season 2 was coming out. They started dropping hints about Angela. They started dropping hints about Brooklyn being the second in command. And they actually had interviews.
In the comics?
Yep.
Wow.
No, they just had an article about it, and they actually interviewed some of the voice actors. So that was pretty cool too.
Again, you are the queen of collecting.
Here is my Greg.
You deserve to wear Damona's tiara.
Here is my homage to Greg XB. He took a much better photo of this and posted it on his sites, but I did it too. I put my seasons of my DVDs and then my Slave Labor graphics novels. This is just a wide shot of my figurines. We took this when I had to pack up some of my stuff to make room for my son.
You already do have the Damona and Lisa figure.
I do.
I think that Karell then would deserved it.
Hey, you see this little Bronx?
Yes.
It's the same I had.
Oh, that's the one you had.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I will
I
keep
hope
my
somebody
eyes
else
open for a spare one.
I hope if anybody, if anybody else has it, they're treating it well right now.
I see
Not
at the
rotting.
convention. Hopefully, maybe there will be someone
There
who
will
is.
be some.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Hopefully. But yeah, these are just wide shots of my collection. I originally took these when I had to box everything up just to have inventory of what I already had.
That's why there are no dust on it.
Yep, that's why there's no dust on. Well, I never had dust on my stuff because I just couldn't do that. But they have been very
You cleaned everything with Q-tips.
Well, you know, I've had this stuff since I was a teenager. So, I mean, when I went up to college, my room got packed up anyway. So, a lot of the stuff was already in storage. So, it just happened to preserve nicely. So, it's not dusty, thankfully. But there's Angela. Karell had mentioned, had commented on Angela. So, that's why I took a couple of close ups of her. And then moving forward, here are like the element ones. They did a series with elements. So they had Rainstorm Hudson, Ice Storm Brooklyn, or the Brooklyn with a neck, and then Firestorm Goliath.
Brooklyn with a neck.
Brooklyn with a neck. I have seen so many of those customized. I can't even tell you. I think I bought a couple so I could do it myself, and I never did. Here's Stone Lexington and Stone Broadway. They got their own little series since the others were put into the elements. I don't know what the exact title of it was, but
It's funny because I thought you did the crackles on them. With a pen or something.
Oh, I'm really bored. I'm going to draw this. Nope, they actually came this way.
Oh.
Here are the roboticized ones. And again, I don't know exactly if they were cyborgs or what, but you'll see Cold Stone. He has a thing in his chest where you can change the personality that controls him.
Evil cyborg Lexington.
And Lexington and Broadway and Goliath. Yeah, these were really cool. These were hard to find.
Actually, that would not be a bad episode in Future Tense.
Here's the trio.
I didn't even know that they existed, actually. I never heard about it.
I don't know how long they marketed those. They were really hard to find. I will say that.
Disney, come on. This is what we wanted to throw away boatloads of money on. Come on.
Here's the trio with their Rip and Rider cycle. I was going to put Brooklyn on here, but he really wasn't cooperating, so he's just standing back there with his lance. And here's some of the Goliaths. They had numerous ones. Wow. One of them I think I was going to eventually turn into a Thalog, but I never did. And there's Goliath and Elisa. Aw. Can you tell we were having way too much fun with this? There's Elisa in her cat suit with her guns.
You're like Lord Helmet from Spaceballs playing with that scene.
There's Hudson and Bronx. For some reason, they gave Bronx a jetpack. I don't know what that is. Glider. Here's some of the ones that I kept in the box. The Minotaur, Goliath, the Griffin, Goliath, and then my Ice Storm Brooklyn. I think those are the only ones I have in the box. Those are the foam things I was talking about.
Oh, okay, d'accord. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I should have put them all together, but of course I didn't. But yeah, you just dipped them in paint and you'd put them. Here's the folder, Charles. This was the.
Mine. I had photocopied. I mean.
Oh, you did.
Rough on the edges. Mine. Oh my god! Like I said, I can't believe how good damn condition this thing is.
Mine's not rough on the edges. You're seeing my high chair tray. I put it on my high chair tray and propped it forward so it wouldn't glare. There's the high chair.
Yours will look perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I never brought mine to school. I kept it at home. But I bought this when I was a teenager. But I kept it at home and I kept all my Gargoyle stuff inside.
You got the original board game. I have the second version of it.
Do you? Yep, this is the one with the pack.
Yeah.
It's a 3D game. I have little pictures that shows each tier of it. And we did play this occasionally. Dave kind of rolls his eyes when I pull this out to play. He's like,
Why?
Because, I mean, it really is a kid's game. There's no challenge to it, but it's fun.
Oh, I thought it was like, this has no buttons or
Yes,
joysticks
he's my techie. But it's a lot of fun to play. I mean, it takes maybe 15 minutes. But yeah, there it is, all put together. We put it on my TV stand. And yeah, you just pick a character and you roll and you do what the card says, and you try to beat the pack, and you try to beat Demona and Xanatos.
Mhm.
And this is something I had for a long, long time, and I actually forgot that I owned it. It wasn't until I was going through my bins from I moved into my house, so of course my mom was like, "Here's all your stuff," and we found this in a bin. So this was one of the things we put together and played.
It sounds like your family members treated your stuff with much better respect than mine. My family, they're like, "Oh, this is just toys." Eventually,
Well, my parents are collectors on a different scale. I mean, they collect more
my
prestigious
family,
items.
no, they're not collectors at all.
These are clips. I know Karell had the Brooklyn one. I'm not 100% sure where I picked these up. It was either at Mall of America or at the Disney store, and I apologize. I have no idea. But I've had these for a long, long time, and I've never.
Did they ever had and all it's missing.
I was just gonna say I'm sure they had Lexington, but I have never come across him. This is
I
just.
hope you do someday. I mean,
Thank you.
You got almost everything. You probably the only
I have a lot.
that. This
What?
thing is that, and
There's the Hot
can of
Topic shirt.
videos with that has the gargoyles.
Oh, we actually encountered those
Label.
during one of my stays in the hospital. One of the nurses, this is the only time I've ever encountered another fan in my region. One of the nurses, it was a male, he came in and he's like, "I have got something for you," because we bonded while the TV show was on. He came in to do some blood draws, and we totally bonded, and like from then on we were like best friends. I kid you not. And he came in one day and he's like,
gargoyle charm.
and he's like, I have something for you. This is really cool. It came in my lunch. And he had bought the Gargoyle SpaghettiOs, and they came with those washable tattoos. And he put one on my arm, and it turned, it just smeared. It smeared everywhere. And he looked at me and he goes, "It looks like I just beat you up." And he felt terrible because it looked like this huge, huge bruise. Yep. So we had to like scrub it off. But yeah, he was trying to be so nice, and it backfired. But I have seen the SpaghettiOs can. I can't eat those things. They're disgusting. But I know what you're talking about.
Back then, they were good to eat. Nowadays, it's
No, they weren't. Yuck.
For me, as a kid, it was okay. It's like nothing like real spaghetti. It's basically it's just watered down tomato ketchup.
These are my large applause figures. Most of these I acquired from the store at Mall of America. I started out with Brooklyn because when I saw Brooklyn, he was mine. I had to buy him.
You couldn't resist.
Yep. And then I slowly gathered Lexington, Broadway, Hudson from the store, and then they stopped carrying the line. So for a long time, I couldn't find Demona and I couldn't find Goliath. Demona I found a few years later. There was like a little arcade a few miles from my home, and so we would go down there. And you could, of course, win stuff with tickets. And they had her in the case one summer. And I kid you not, I think the people just got tired of me coming in and playing skee-ball. Because they eventually let me cash out my tickets, and I took Demona home. For all I know, I gave them some extra money too. But yeah, I think they were just kind of like, "Oh, that poor kid." So, so yeah, they let me win Demona. And then Goliath, I was able to purchase off eBay again.
You would have
a few years
no
ago.
hope in Las Vegas.
In Vegas, oh no, I have no luck.
You win just one time, and they said, "No, fuck you." They didn't want you to win. Me and my brother, we were just winning one game after another game after another game, and like, no, leave.
But that's why I don't gamble. That's why I play skee
No,
ball.
it's not gambling. No. This is one of those carnival-like games.
Oh, okay.
Kid. Oh, that's what I forgot. I have that book.
The Look and Find?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep, the Look and Find.
I know about
And
it.
I took a picture of the inside.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't know they did that. I was amazed when I saw that in your
still
file.
have
Because
it, yes.
I love Wes Wilder series, and I didn't know they did the same with.
Yeah, they did these quite often with the Disney books. There was a Tailspin one. There was a Rescue Rangers one.
Another one that didn't cross the water.
Across the water. I know they do like the Disney movies. Like I think we had an Aladdin one and a Lion King one back in the day. I'm sure I still have them somewhere. But yeah, this was so much fun because, it was something to do. And, you can actually see some of the characters as you're just... But yeah, each page had different things that you would search for. So just like Where's Waldo?
It's fair. You beat me to it. I completely forgot about it. You get all the credit.
Well, thank you. That's what I was going for. No, I'm kidding.
At least I got my statue.
There you go. You have your statue.
And my pocket game.
Yeah, you have the pocket game. And you have the statue, like you said. But this was a lot of fun. I really did almost take pictures of all of the pages, but I was like, no, they'll get sick of it.
And then somewhere along the line, someone's going to sue you for copyright.
Me? No. I never said this was mine. Oh my god, if I could draw like this, I wouldn't be working where I work.
No, for you showing off material that they don't want to.
Oh, well, but it's a podcast, so of course everybody knows that.
Well, just like Karell,
Karell
says, we're covering our asses.
These are the Marvel comics. I know these are not canon, but when these came out, I was in love with these. Some of the storylines were really cheesy, but the cover art was exactly the reason that I bought these. This is when I decided I could draw things, and I eyeballed these covers. I have a sketchbook filled with the covers that I actually drew, and I like to think, even though they look amateurish, I did not do too poorly. But yeah, I loved the cover art on these. I still get a smile whenever I see these.
I never knew they existed until just a few years ago.
You know, even in my small town, our local drugstore actually carried these, which was so rare for them to have any type of gargoyle merchandise. But yeah, they had them on the shelf, or the little comic book shelf one day, and I went back I think I went back almost every week, not realizing they were monthly issues. I was a dumb kid. But I just couldn't miss one. So I made sure I went up there quite a bit, and I bought them all. This is Minotaur.
Again, I am not worthy.
Well,
I bow at thee.
Here's the Rip and Rider cycle.
Lisa.
Mine has handlebars. I know Karell said hers did not. Here's the gargoyle shirt. I did not model it because who can outdo Karell with that? She did an awesome job. But this is the gargoyle shirt. This was a Hot Topic shirt. I think it was actually sold on the men's side, but that didn't stop me. It's pretty big on me, to be honest, but I wore it when I was pregnant, so that was amazing. It was the best sleep shirt I've ever had. And it does say the Stone by Day. This is kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. The middle item are Brooklyn party bags for a birthday party. They're still in their package. I'm debating if I want to pop them open one day and actually use them, but I kind of like them in the bag. On the left side at the top, you just see that little advertisement that I talked about earlier. The bottom thing is a trading card. You could actually get this with the trading cards. And I think you had to send away for it. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but oh no, it's a postcard. I'm so sorry, it's a postcard. This is a pencil. This I got out of a pencil machine at my elementary school. Our high school and elementary were combined, or I'm sorry, they were conjoined.
You had an awesome school, man. You had an wonderful town.
No, I didn't have an awesome school, but this they put in those.
That you said they used to actually show the episodes as the way to teach them lessons.
Not my school. Other schools did that. My school didn't.
Okay.
But you know, they put in those pencil machines. I don't know if you did that in your school, Charles, but they put in pencil machines and you got to buy them for a quarter.
They say, you didn't have a pencil? Tough shit. You fail.
They made us go buy our pencils. But they always had really cool ones in there. So I have like princesses, I have all kinds of stuff. But the Gargoyles one popped out. These I bought from Gilly Perkygoth after our interview with her. This is the Gargoyle set 2 of her little, I call them fatty pins, but I know they're cheapy buttons.
I'm still trying to find a
and they're darling. I was going to put them at my desk at work, but I bought them when I was pregnant, and I didn't want to leave a lot of stuff at my desk while I was on leave. So I just brought them home. So I took a cute picture of them, and they're wonderful. I really do enjoy them. I have both sets. I have this one, and then I have a second set. There we go, set 1. And she did a great job with these. These came with the Pogs. This is just a list of the Pogs. Nothing too spectacular.
Oh, shit.
These are the actual Pogs.
God damn, you got all of them.
Yeah, I bought the whole set.
That's a lot of bugs.
It's a lot of pods that sit unplayed in a
It may
box.
not be worthless, but at least it's still gargoyles.
But this was probably the biggest craze of the 90s right here, folks.
Exactly.
The milk caps. The biggest craze and the shortest lived craze. But they did make a gargoyle series, so I bought them.
God damn it.
I think I went through this pod phase. I didn't play with it. I think my sisters did, but I didn't.
I never played with these. I just admired
neither.
them. This is a little newsreel that came with I think it actually came with the Cards magazine. But this also talked about the release of the show, and it highlighted on some of the voice actors. It's a very, very short magazine. It's just a little one-page insert, but it's got a lot of information in it, and it's pretty cool. I'm trying to think when I actually got that. This came also with the newsreel. I'm hoping to bring this to Convergence to have it autographed. But it is the infamous picture of the no-winged Brooklyn. And you can actually see the outlines, but it's a press photo. So I'm really hoping to have that autographed. Here are the slave labor graphic comics.
The individual issues.
The individual issues. I did buy those before I bought the graphic novels, of course.
Oh, so you got both. Nice.
Yep, I do have both.
You definitely have street cred now.
Well, thank you. It's the first time
Before
anyone's ever said that.
I mean, you're already definitely queen of the hill. But just make sure that, you definitely have authentic street cred right here, or the actual original individual issues.
And these were actually sold at a comic store up here, which again is pretty rare for this region. I don't know what the deal is with certain shows and things. But I was able to find a local comic store, so I did buy all of these. I actually bought my novels from Slave Labor Graphics website, and then later from Amazon. So I bought 2 sets. Don't hate me. But yeah, there are each of the issues. If people have not bought them, you should. These are my baby applause figures. They actually came in a set. They came in a little box.
I thought your baby was Bennett.
My baby is Bennett, and he's a sweetheart. And he likes Lexington.
Making sure when he grows up and hears this, he doesn't feel jealous.
He'll understand. He'll just shake his head and say, "Mom, you're obsessed."
Why do you love plastic more than me?
But these came in a little box set, and I remember buying these at the Disney store. But they came all together. I wish I had kept the little box, but of course, when you're that age, you're like, I'm playing with these, and I did. We actually built a castle. Part of our 8th grade project was we had to build a castle out of materials.
Oh,
and we made
the fun you had.
My partner and I made the ugliest marshmallow castle. And I don't know how this thing even survived, but we made it out of marshmallows and toothpicks. But the reason that my teacher liked it is we put the gargoyles in the castle at various points. So we got credit that way. Otherwise, that thing
was a fan too.
He must have been. I hope he burned that castle. But this is Sphinx Bronx. I guess this was the only Bronx besides the original that they made in the series. And his headpiece doesn't go on very well. Once you get it on, it gets stuck, so I didn't put it on there. But it's basically the blue Bronx with a coat of paint and some different armor. But he's pretty cool. I don't have a lot to say about him. But he's cute. He's Bronx. This was a little stamper set. You could make your own little storybook. This I bought in my hometown when I was younger. And basically that's it.
A lot of good stuff.
No, they didn't. That's the funny thing. So when I did see something there, I knew it was going to be short-lived. So I would buy it. And because it's a smaller town and this wasn't in huge demand, you could get things pretty cheap.
Well, you were damn lucky you had a fucking hunt.
No, most of it was just luck, to be perfectly honest. These are stencils that went with the art kit So
yeah.
again, so you can make your own little storyline with that. It had each of the characters. It didn't turn out the greatest, but we tried. And then this is the sticker book, a Panini sticker book. And it told the whole story of Awakening, and I think there were a couple other episodes in that
It's
one.
the same as me.
The same as you, yep.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have one that's totally filled and one that is not, and I'm pretty sure the one that's not might be my brother's, because you could send away. You would buy the sticker packets, and then you could send away for like 3 stickers at a time. With shipping and handling, and they would send them to you. So I completed the entire little insert poster, and then I have a completed book. These are also some stickers that I bought at Mall of America when I was a teenager. I have set 1, 2, and 4. Apparently I don't have 3, but 2 of them are holographic, and one of them is just a regular set of stickers. I've never used them, but I did take them out of their packaging, of course. The packaging actually had a little color sheet on the back. This is just a box from the trading cards that I kept.
That is all sorts of awesome. Oh, what's this?
This was part of my Christmas gift this year from Dave. This is a glow in the dark trading card that I had not had. He found Broadway, and Broadway is already encased in the little plastic. But he bought this from a card shop online. And he also bought
a card, or looked like a CD case. I was thinking,
oh,
what's this?
I'm sorry. These are 2 trading cards. They're part of the Skybox series, and he bought Brooklyn as well. They do glow in the dark. I tested. But this was part of my Christmas present from my hubby. So he's a sweet guy. These are just the trading cards.
Gave you Bennett too, don't forget.
He did. He's a sweet guy. He knows what I want. I wanted a nice little baby, and I wanted gargoyle cards. And I got both. Win! These are just the trading cards. I'm sure we can flip through these pretty quick. There's not too much to say. I do have Series 1 and Series 2, including most of the inserts. I think in Series 2 I'm missing a couple things, but I can't even remember what they are. A couple of them could turn into a poster. I think this is the start of Series 2. Oh, and they had pop-ups. So if you push down, they would actually pop up. Which I think you guys got those with your set.
Yeah, we had it. It's funny because the pop-ups, we had it in France in the cereals box.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I had the Brooklyn one. It's the only one I had at the time.
That's awesome. I would eat more cereal if those came out of my cereal.
The diabetes was worth it.
I'm not a cereal eater, but I will admit I ate plenty of cereal in order to get all the little Disney afternoon figures, but that's for another show. These are special inserts that you could, again, send away for. So there's a postcard, and then there's like the big skybox picture of Goliath. These, if you remember, these were posted on Facebook.
Yeah.
The Facebook groups a little while ago. These came out of a TV Guide insert, and I knew I had them somewhere, and I happened to find them inside my Disney Adventures. But they are TV Guide, and it's their Halloween episode. Halloween for comic. And yeah, you see all the characters are surprising Goliath and Brooklyn with a Halloween party, and Fox for some reason was Pocahontas. Elisa was her action figure. And looks like Broadway's a pimp. I don't know what's going on back there. But so this was just a cute little insert that was in the TV Guide, and I ripped it out.
But for an instant, I was wondering, what is Demona doing here? But no, it's Angela.
But it's Angela. I almost said that. I almost said Angela is Snow White. How weird is that? Yeah. Here are my villains. Demona, Red, Xanatos, Macbeth, and the Steel Clan. So this is... There they are shooting each other. Greg XB did a much funnier picture of this, but I figured since I had them set up, I had to do it. These are window clings, and I actually did have them stuck to my window in my hometown at my house. So I'm amazed that they came off and that they're still in great condition. And this is the Xanatos Roadster. This I got a couple of years ago too. This is normal Xanatos. He's actually dressed like himself, except he's wearing purple. But yeah, the car is really cool. And it actually did come in a box, but the box was ruined, so I just took it out of the box.
It looks like the Roadster from ZZ Top.
It does.
That's weird.
Now we know where Xanatos put all this milk. Castle, car from ZZ Top. Done.
And I think we're
at the end.
Yeah,
that is the end. I tried to be very quick, so if I lingered too long on one item, I'm sorry. And if I was too quick and you have a question about it, drop us a line.
Well, that about wraps it up for podcast 9.5. As all of us here say, thank you so much for listening to us. We look forward to serving your gargoyles needs in the future and hopefully forevermore, because, we'll find a way to make ourselves immortal and shit or something. Anyway, as always, I am Karell, also known as Guardian on the internet, and I am also oh crap, I gotta fucking start over. As always, I am Karell, also known as Guardian, Lisa, also known as Talia Levid, and Karell, also known as Kodalea. We thank you very much for listening to us, and we hope to see you next time.
And see you at Convergence, we hope.
That too.
Yeah, see you at Convergence. See you next time. Bye-bye.
And I can't stress enough, guys, pics and videos. Make fun of me for poor planning. Really. Okay? We got to bring this home. That's why the gatherings went bye-bye.
Sad face.
Sad face. People like me, yeah. So come and, pics and video and make fun of me.
That's right.
The only time I'll let you do it.